So welcome back, and in this video we're gonna create all actions and also mutations for the store, and we're gonna also create a account page in the front end part of the app. So first let's go to the login.view, and as you can see here we have one request, and now we need to move this request to the store that we created here. So we're gonna create now new actions, as I said. So first action that we're gonna create it will be commit, login, and here we need to create a local variable login, and also create another local variable named user. So the next thing that we need to do is create a new file named axios client, or you can just call this axios.js, but I'm gonna call this axios client.js, and in this file you will need to create a new axios client. So let's create a new axios client, and we're gonna type axios. So let's call now here new function named create here, and we're gonna use this function to create a new axios client. So I'm gonna type now base URL to the API. So it's gonna be HTTP localhost and port 8000. Great. And now we need also to create a new header, default header for this axios client. So now let's type here interceptors, and we're gonna type request, we're gonna call use function, and we're gonna now config this. So I'm gonna type config, and we're gonna type config headers after authorization, and authorization header will be equal to BRR, and we're gonna call session storage get item token. So we're gonna now get token from the session storage that we're gonna save, and we need also to return the config of the default request, and we need to type here export default axios client. Axios client. Okay, great. So now we have axios clients that we're gonna use when we gonna make every request to the API. And now let's get back to the store, and now let's import axios client. So import axios client. Okay, and now we can go to the login action, and we can type axios client post, and let's see what we got here. Let's get back also again to the axios client and type here API. We have here login endpoint, so we're gonna do request to the login endpoint by using axios client that we created, and we're gonna pass here user data that we're gonna get from these forms that we have in the login.view component. Okay, and now we're gonna type here res, so maybe you can type here res, and also let's type here error, console log error, and we can type also return res and return error. Okay, and now we can delete here this request, and we can import here store. Okay, and now we can type store dispatch, and now we can call this actions that we created here. So I'm gonna type dispatch login, and I can now pass here user data from the form, and I can also use here then construction if I want, but we're gonna just call login function. Okay, login action, and great. So now let's test this stuff, and we're gonna also create a new mutation to save all data inside the store state. So now let's open browser and check how it works. So don't forget also to start server of the app. I forget to type npm run dev. Okay, all works. So now let's open browser, and don't forget also to start local server of the Laravel app. Okay, so now I'm in the browser, so I created a new account with email admin.example.com, and here is password. Now let's type sign in, and as you can see, all works. Request that we call from the store is working. Now we can back to the code editor, and we can save now these tokens that we get from the response to the state and to the session storage. Okay, so now we're gonna create a new mutation named set user. Okay, so set user. Here we need to create a new function variable named state and also new variable named user. Or you can call this user data or something like this. So, and here I'm gonna access to the state. And as you can see, now I can access to the user variables that I created here. So I'm gonna type user data equals to the user data user, and state user token equals to the user data token. And all this data we're gonna get from the response after this request. And we're gonna also, as I said, save token in the session storage. So you need to call here session storage set item and give to the new item name named token by caps lock and type here value of the token. Okay, and yeah, but that's not all. Now we need to commit this mutation, so I'm gonna type here commit and I need to type here set user and I'm gonna type here res data. Okay, so now let's save it and now let's open browser again. Okay, page is refreshed, so that means that I can now open application. I can now go to the session storage and now let's try to log in again. So I'm gonna type admin example.com and I'm gonna type passwords and type sign in, and as you can see, this here is token of the user of the admin user that we just used to log in by API. Okay, so yeah, all works and all data now is saved in the session storage, and now we can start building next pages that we need. Yeah, so let's open code editor, and now it's time also to create a register action. So let's create a register action comment user. Yeah, we can also delete this console log, and yeah, so now we can call here register roads. Yeah, and we can call here also resource, and you remember that register in successful response also gives to us user data and new user token. So we can also here commit use set user mutation, and we can also get here error. Now let's go to the register.vue component, and we need to import store, and yeah, let's also get back to the login.vue and delete here axios, save it, and also let's delete here axios, and we can also remove this request by the axios, and we can now dispatch here register action, and we can pass here user data. Okay, so now let's open browser again. Yeah, all refreshed, and now let's go to the application, let's go to the session storage, and I can also delete this token. And now let's go to the register and let's try to create another account. So maybe we can name this, I don't know, git example.com and some random password. Now let's click sign app. Okay, now let's open application, and as you can see, token is here. That means that all works and new user is created successfully. Now we need to do one thing. When we created a new user, we need to redirect user to the account page or dashboard page, and to do that we need to open router file, because I want to create something like a middleware. So as you can see here, we have login and register routes, and now I want to create two rules. So when, for example, if you already authorized, you can't go to the login or register page, or if you are not authorized, you can go to the dashboard page. Yeah, so now let's create two rules for this two components, and so yeah, let's do this. So I'm gonna create here new meta, and here we can type just guest true, and let's type here also here. And now let's create new rules. So router before each. Now let's create here new arrow function from next, and let's open brackets. And now, for example, if we will have authorization. So we're gonna have if we required authorization, so we're gonna use here new meta rule named token required. And so if to meta token required, we're gonna use this soon when we're gonna create a new road for the dashboard page. And if session storage get item token, so if you don't have token in the session storage, we're gonna redirect user to the login page. I forget to open here object and type name of the road. So if user don't have a token and some router have this rule named token required, so user will be redirected to the login component page. Yep. Now let's create another rule. So to meta guest, so is if user is not authorized and user, for example, so if user is authorized, because we now want to check if user have token. But if user go to the, for example, to the page login or register, where we use this guest rule, we're gonna redirect user to the dashboard page that we're gonna create soon. And now let's create a else statement where we're gonna just type next. Okay, so now let's save it and let's create a new component named dashboard.view. Let's create here empty template, and for example dashboard only for registered users. Okay, and let's create here also empty script with the tab attribute. And now let's back to the router. Now let's create this page. So let's create a new road for this page. So let's type here dashboard. And soon we're gonna also create a default layout for the app. So let's continue creating this new road. So name dashboard and component, it will be dashboard component that we're gonna import now. So dashboard, okay, from components and dashboard.view. Okay, and now let's type here that we want to use here token required rule, because when we want to check is user registered or not, and if user is authorized and have token in the session storage. Okay, great. So maybe that's all for now. And okay, so that's all. And now let's try to test how this works. So let's open browser. Okay, so as you can see, I was redirected automatically and I'm now on the dashboard page. And if I try to go to the login page, you can see that I'm redirected automatically to the dashboard. So that's how it works. And for example, if I delete my token and refresh it, you can see that I'm automatically redirected to the login page. So we just created a few rules that now can control authorized or not authorized user. So if user is authorized, we will give access to the dashboard page, but if user is not authorized, we're gonna redirect user to the login page, and user will be not enable access to the dashboard page. Okay, so now let's create a logout function in actions. So let's type here logout. Let's create a commit variable. And let's open body of the function and comment logout, or we can just say set user, and we can just send here user empty object and token now. Okay, and so now let's go to the dashboard and let's create here some button, for example, just for now. And let's create inside script tag new function logout. Let's also import store and router. So store, store from store folder, and so router from router. Okay, and now let's type store dispatch logout and we don't need here any arguments, and after that we can call them and we can type router push, and we can redirect user to the login page. So we type here now name of the road where user will be redirected, and for example we can also create here catch error. Okay, so now let's add here click event. So click it. If we click, we're gonna call logout functions that we created here. Okay, so and now let's open browser and check how this code works. Okay, so I'm here, and yeah, if I refresh, you can see that there is no any tokens. That means that we need to log in. So admin example, sign in, token is here, and yeah, we need also to create a redirect when we successfully authorized, but we're gonna do this soon. So I can just refresh this page, and now I'm redirected to the dashboard page, and looks like I forget to create also I forget to type some text inside logout button. So I'm gonna type here logout. Yeah, let's also create here some empty div just for now. Let's save it, and now let's open browser again, and let's try refresh it. Yeah, so as you can see, here is logout button without any styles. We're gonna add styles soon, so let's try to click on this button, and let's also check how logout process will be executed. So I click logout, and oh yeah, so I understood. But if I try to refresh, you can see that okay, this not work. So let's get back to the store file. So let's also type here session storage remove item token. Okay, now let's save it. Now let's open browser again and again, and if I now click, you can see token is removed fully. Okay, great. So now let's add redirects for the login and register components. Okay, so first let's go to the register component, and let's type here then. So then, and let's also type here catch to be able get error if we will have it. And yes, so let's also import router. So type import router from router folder, and if user is successfully registered, we're gonna redirect user to the dashboard page. And now let's open login.vue. Let's also import here router, and let's do the same thing that we did inside the register.vue component. Okay, so let's create a then construction, and let's type router push, call push function, and type dashboard. So push to dashboard, and let's also catch error. Okay, so catch error, console log error. Okay, let's save it, and now let's test it. Okay, great. So we're not authorized. So first let's type here example and type sign in, and that looks like redirect is not working. So let's refresh it. Let's log out. So log out. Now you can see logout is working nice. Okay, so now let's get back to the dashboard.vue. Login.vue, and let's see why this is not working. So response, maybe I should type here response, and let's open store, and yeah, I return here response. Okay, so let's try authorization again. Okay, so admin example.com, password admin, yeah, sign in. Oh, I don't know why this stuff is not working, but if I refresh, I'm redirected to the dashboard because this is working. Okay, so maybe there is some trouble with then construction, and yeah, so we're gonna fix this soon. But for now, maybe that's all for this lesson. So in this lesson, we created redirects, we created first two actions and first mutation to save data of the current user, and we created also axios client. So that's all for this lesson. So thanks for watching, and we're gonna meet in the next video, and soon you're gonna see more videos about Laravel and JavaScript programming on my channel. So thanks for watching.